Lately, I've been seeing a lot of people in relationships that don't serve them. I mean, you could clearly see the connection is only treasured on one side. And for some reason, there is this trend. Men are taking advantage of the fact that women are so interested in marriage. And so you find that a lot of women are being used in the name of being promised marriage, which is quite sad. I don't know how things got to this point. Anyway, away from that, here are a few relationship mindsets you ought to have before going into a new relationship. Keep watching. Be willing to walk away from it. Like, before going into any relationship, you should know that not every relationship is meant to end in marriage. I know this will sound cliche, but some relationships are meant to show you new restaurants. As simple as that. If you go into a new relationship with that mindset, you're likely to look out for yourself. And if the relationship is not working for you, you will have the guts to let go as early as possible and not hang in there because you're afraid of being lonely. I don't know why people are so afraid of being alone. Like, why don't people enjoy their own company? I find that a lot of people move out of one relationship that didn't work out and move into another one immediately without taking time to heal, process, or work on themselves, which actually is usually the beginning of the failure of that new relationship because they still have baggage to deal with. So, going into a new relationship, you should be willing to walk out of it if it's not serving you, and if it means being alone, be alone. Secondly, communication. As the relationship proceeds, you need to cultivate better communication. You need to let the other person know who you really are. Don't just be quiet and timid. When every relationship is beginning, usually we are not ourselves. That's a fact. Usually we are not ourselves. We have this peer representative, and we all do, who we send to represent us. The women are always, the hair is always neat, they're smelling nice, those who do makeup are always wearing makeup, and then the men, they're taking you to new places, buying new gifts, splashing money. That's the PR in action. But sometimes we let the PR stay for so long. It's better when the PR has done their job in a few months, start speaking up. You should keep that in mind, that in case this thing is going forward, I need to be myself so that you don't shock your partner when you get in marriage. So yeah, you gotta enforce and cultivate communication. Don't expect your partner to change for you. I mean, that is a lot to ask. Don't you think? Don't expect your partner to change for you. You see, as you go on dating, you get to pick up certain flaws in people, and we all have flaws. So you get to pick up one or two flaws in your partner, and and some people try to change those flaws in their partners. And I'm not saying change is bad. However, if you're changing for another person, it doesn't work. Trust me. Been there, done that, and it never works. It never works at all. People should change for themselves. And believe you me, if you set yourself out, on a mission to change someone, my dear, you're likely to fail. But what you should ask yourself is, in case this relationship works and it ends in marriage, in case it ends in marriage, will I be able to contain these flaws that my partner has? That is the one thing you should ask yourself. Put it in your head that they are likely not to change forever, and ask yourself that question. If they don't change forever, is this a behavior I will be able to tolerate? I'll be able to contain? If it's something you cannot contain, well, that means that is your cue to walk out as early as possible, instead of wasting a lot more of your time expecting your partner to change. And by the way, if I remember correctly, in our premarital counseling, our pastor clearly told us, he looked at me and he said, it's not your job to change him. So don't even bother. Don't start. And then he looked at my husband and told him the same thing. He's like, it's not your job to change her. Don't bother. Don't even start. Don't even think about it. So really, don't expect your significant other to change for you. Don't. Not every right partner is right for you. You can find an all-round person. You can find this person who has all the qualities you've ever wanted in a man, and still they're not right for you. I know it sounds weird and ironic, but that is so true. The earlier you know that, the better. So that way you don't get to cling on someone. And when someone tells you they're not interested, really, believe them. Believe them. But there's this habit with men, when a woman tells them they're not interested, they actually switch it up. They feel like that's a challenge, so they go out on a mission to change that woman's mind to like them. And you find them at the end of the day when things have not worked out and they're complaining, they are frowning, they are cussing women, only because they didn't believe what the woman told them. If the woman tells you she's not interested to a certain extent, there's a certain level you should pursue someone. Like, if they're interested, you at least start seeing them reciprocating, what you're doing for them. But if they insist and they continue telling you they're not interested, man, just let it go. Just let it go. And the same applies to women. If a man wakes up and tells you, no, this is not for him, please believe them, because my dear, the climate is hot out there. And lastly, times and seasons. People leave, and that's okay. That's okay. If the relationship is no longer serving them, let them go. You need to learn the art of letting go. Clinging on people doesn't work. It has never worked. People are only where they are interested, and you cannot force someone to be interested. And the same applies to you. If the relationship is not working for you in a way that you wanted it, then walk out of it, leave it. Times and seasons. It came, it served its purpose, and that's it. And when someone leaves your life, don't blame yourself, don't beat yourself up, because it takes two to tango. In case you did something that, didn't work towards bettering the relationship, they also must have done something. So instead of throwing a pity party or anything like that, you should look at it as lessons, as a time you spent learning some lessons. That way you get out of the relationship knowing things you're not willing to tolerate in the next one. So yeah, those are few relationship mindsets that I had in mind. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.